We're less than 2 weeks away from the official reveal of CNBC's top states for business, along with the next big event in the trade war, the end of President Trump's 90-day tariff delay. Scott Cohn is live at the Port of Oakland with more on how tariffs are changing the game this year. Scott.
They are factoring in a little bit of everything, aren't they, David? This is the Port of Oakland. It is one of the biggest container ships in the country. It's also an important gateway for agricultural exports from California and the Midwest bound for Asia. They're about to close the books on this fiscal year, and they say on balance they should be up slightly. The imports are flat as there's all kinds of uncertainty with the tariffs. The exports are going to be up slightly, but the port's maritime director tells me that does not tell the full story of a whole lot of uncertainty for everyone.
It impacts everybody differently. Bigger companies can weather the storm. Who really, suffers are the small businesses in the area, and then all of the owner-operator truckers.
It also affects every state differently. California has probably the most exposure in a trade war, but it also expects some smaller states that you might not initially think of.
You look at a state like Kentucky. Its goods trade, exports and imports are about 50% of its GDP. It's the highest in the country. Contrast that with a state like Virginia, where it's less than 10%.
So with the help of Dan Anthony and the Trade Partnership Worldwide, folks, we are factoring the risk from tariffs into our top states rankings this year. We're looking at each state's international goods trade as a percentage of its GDP, their exposure to China specifically, and the potential impacts from multiple scenarios in the trade war. You can read all about our methodology, follow our top states journey, and see the top states revealed on July 10th at topstates.cnbc.com. Guys?
Does it line up politically at all? I'm just wondering how some of these state governors that have been very vulnerable with tariffs and trade are speaking out, because, they've fallen in line behind President Trump on so many issues. And I wonder if this is an area where they disagree and they've been more vocal about it.
Well, they're all going to have to deal with it. And, I don't know that there are necessarily neat political lines with all of this. It really is involving, states that rely on international trade. And South Carolina is an important state that has a lot of international goods trade with autos. Then there's California, of course, a blue state for sure, with its big exposure. Kentucky with a Democratic governor. I don't know that there is a clean political narrative, Sarah. The issue, though, is that it really does affect different states in different ways, and it's not always intuitive. Some states that you might expect, but every state in different ways. And we're trying to factor that in this year, even though there's so much uncertainty.